The house was stunning, a glass and marble retreat tucked in the hills of Malibu, with a panoramic view of the ocean and a pool that looked like it belonged in a dream. Long, rectangular, and glowing a soft, pulsating blue. My name is Kayla Marino, and when I booked this place for a sponsored weekend getaway, I thought it was going to be the content trip of my career. 3 days, 5 brand partnerships, and 1 picture-perfect pool. That was the plan. The Airbnb listing had promised a luxury aquatic experience and one-of-a-kind interactive lighting. I assumed that meant LEDs that changed color when you clapped or something cute like that. I didn't expect what I got. The first day was perfect. I arrived at golden hour, filmed a quick intro for my story, ring light reflecting in my sunglasses, and ran a drone sweep of the pool. The water shimmered like liquid sapphire, the lights glowing from beneath in soft pulses, like it was breathing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I chalked it up to excitement, but I kept hearing the faint hum of the pool filter. Or maybe it wasn't the filter. It was rhythmic, almost melodic, like a lullaby being sung in reverse. The next morning, I woke up drenched. My phone was in its charger, but my clothes were soaked. My hair stuck to my face. The faint smell of chlorine filled the room. I blinked at the digital clock, 3:47 a.m. I checked the security app linked to the property. Playback showed me stepping out to the pool deck sometime after midnight, then walking straight into the water, then standing at the bottom, still, for hours. The next day, I tried to shake it off. I filmed some skincare promos, took bikini pics, tagged the brands. My follower count was spiking, weirdly fast. Thousands of likes in seconds. Comments flooding in, "Stay under. We see you now. She's almost ready." I deleted them. But more came. That night, I stayed away from the pool, or tried to. But at 1:13 a.m., I found myself outside again. I wasn't walking, I was drawn. The lights were pulsing, blue to green to red, like a heartbeat. The water shimmered, and I could swear I saw something beneath the surface. Not a reflection, a face. Mine, but smiling wider, deeper. I blacked out. This time I woke up underwater, floating inches from the pool floor, eyes open, not struggling. I surfaced, coughing, gasping. Stumbled into the house, called the property manager, no answer. Tried to book a ride out, no signal. Instagram notifications flooded in, thousands of DMs, but none from people I knew, all from accounts of followers, blank profiles. Each message was the same: "She is becoming." I checked the security feed again. It showed me pacing around the pool, talking, but the audio, it was 2 voices, mine and something else. A whisper layered with bubbles. Echoes from a drain that shouldn't speak. "You are better this way, Kayla. No more pretending. Let them watch." I unplugged everything, threw my phone in the drawer, packed my bag. When I turned to leave, the pool lights went out, then flashed on again, blood red, and her voice, my voice, called from the deep. "Why are you running from yourself?" I ran into the woods behind the house. No roads, no GPS, just trees and the sound of water sloshing, even though I was nowhere near the pool. Eventually, I collapsed from exhaustion. Woke up at the edge of the pool deck, soaked, phone in my hand, live streaming to over 900,000 viewers. My face filled the screen, but I wasn't speaking. The mouth moved wrong. The eyes too wide, the voice not quite mine. "Thanks for joining me," it said. "I'm finally free." I tried to scream, but the live stream kept going. I closed the app, still streaming. Through the phone, still streaming, the pool began to boil, bubbles rising like breath. Then silence. A single word echoed from the intercom. "Upload complete." I don't know how long it's been now. My followers think I'm living the dream, posting from beaches I've never seen, selling brands I've never heard of. But I'm not posting. The real me is somewhere beneath that pool, watching, trapped. And if you see my profile online, and she smiles too wide, don't like the post, don't comment, and whatever you do, don't swim in the light. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. The house looked smaller than I remembered. Nestled beneath overgrown oak trees, its paint chipped and pale, it gave off the kind of silence you don't notice until you're inside it. My name is Miriam Voss, and after my father's sudden death, I returned to the place I'd spent most of my childhood. A house I had left behind without looking back. The realtor had said the property needed some love, which was a polite way of saying it hadn't been touched in years. The backyard was the worst of it. The pool was still there, that old rectangular monstrosity my father used to obsessively clean. Now it sat like a scar across the lawn, covered in moss-streaked tarp, sagging with stagnant rainwater. Weeds had climbed its edges, and the fence was warped and brittle. I hadn't thought about that pool in years. I didn't even know why we kept it. I never learned to swim. That night, I dreamed I was underwater. Not floating, sinking. The water was green, the light above distant, and someone was holding my ankle. I couldn't scream, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. Just watched the surface ripple above as something pulled me deeper into the dark. I woke up gasping. Sweat poured down my back, my sheets damp, my throat raw. The next morning, I pulled the tarp off the pool. It peeled away with a wet hiss. Underneath, the water was still there, shallow now, maybe 2 feet deep, choked with leaves and debris. A thick layer of green scum clung to the bottom. At first, I thought I saw a face beneath the surface, but it was only a trick of the water. In the garage, I found the old VHS tapes, boxes labeled Summer 1995, 4th of July barbecue, and one marked pool. I hadn't seen a VCR in decades, but the house still had one wired to the basement TV. I pressed play. Static. Then children laughing. There I was, maybe 6 years old, in a pink floaty. My dad's voice behind the camera. "That's my girl, look at you." But something was wrong. I was in the deep end, swimming, without floaties, without panic, and I was smiling. I don't remember ever learning to swim. I don't remember being in that water at all. I kept watching. More videos, more scenes of me or someone who looked like me in that pool. Diving, laughing, and then, in the corner of one video, another child, a boy, blonde, maybe 5, splashing next to me. "Go under with him, Miriam," my dad said. The camera panned to my face, and the smile vanished. "I don't want to," I said. The tape ended in static. There are no pictures of a brother in the house, no birth certificates. My mother died when I was 12, and my dad never spoke of siblings. But I remembered something. A birthday party. 2 cakes, one blue, one pink. I began cleaning the pool, scooping leaves, draining the water. The deeper I got, the more memories surfaced. A fight. Screaming. Someone pushed. The echo of a splash, a scream swallowed by water. I hit something solid, a plastic action figure, a tiny shoe. The bones came next, small, fragile, tangled in the drain filter. That night, I dreamed I was back in the water. Only this time, I wasn't sinking. I was watching, from the bottom, as a little boy screamed for help, and a girl who looked like me stared down at him and turned away. The police came, took the remains, said they'd test the DNA, but the questions came fast. Do you have any siblings? Was there a child reported missing? Why was there no police report? I didn't have answers, only that face. his face and mine. The pool is full again. I drained it, filled it with concrete, but it's back. Clear water, still. Every morning, and sometimes at night, I hear splashing, laughter, and the voice of a boy calling my name. Miriam, come swim. It's your turn now. When I look out the window, I see them. 2 children, a girl and a boy, holding hands at the deep end, waiting, because someone always has to go under. And now, it's me. It was the kind of place that didn't make the news when it closed. A 2-story red brick community center, wedged between crumbling apartment blocks, its windows boarded and its sign faded to the color of dried blood. I'd driven past it 100 times growing up. Never went in. Never even thought about it until I came back to document what was left of my childhood neighborhood. My name is Elias Ward, and I'm an urban explorer, or at least, I used to be. I'd filmed forgotten gas stations, shuttered schools, ghost malls, places people left behind. But none of them had ever felt like this. There was a stillness to the building. Not silence, stillness. Like everything had taken a deep breath and never let it out. The front doors gave easily under the crowbar. Dust scattered in the sunlight, painting rays through warped glass. Mold climbed the walls in veins. Broken trophies lay in shattered cases. Flyers clung to corkboards with slogans like Free Swim Fridays and Community Talent Show, July 1998. But it was the pool that brought me. The locker rooms reeked of mildew and copper. The lockers themselves were rusted shut, a few bent open like snapped jaws. I stepped carefully, boots crunching over broken tile and old swim goggles. The air was heavier the closer I got to the pool. The entrance was chained, but the glass had been broken. I climbed through, and there it was, the drained indoor pool, massive and skeletal. Its pale blue paint was cracked, spiderwebbed. A few leaves and bits of trash had settled at the bottom. But something about it stopped me cold. Scrawled in massive black spray paint across the deep end wall, "Don't wake them." I started filming. Pan shots, cracked tiles, close-ups of the graffiti. I narrated into my mic. Urban explorer Elias here, and today we're inside the Holloway Community Center, abandoned since '99. The pool's dry but not empty. I trailed off. Water stains lined the walls in streaks, most of them normal. Except a few looked like faces, long, distorted, screaming. I blinked, looked again, gone. I moved closer to the deep end. Someone had stacked folding chairs down there like a makeshift shrine, candles long burned out. In the center, a waterlogged stuffed bear, one glass eye missing, and behind it, bones, small, human. I scrambled back, breath caught in my throat. Then I heard it, a splash. I turned. The pool was still dry. Another splash. From the locker room. I followed the sound. Steam clung to the tile, though there was no heat. The showers ran. Water trickled down the rusted drains, stained reddish-brown. On the mirror, written in condensation, "Remember us." I fled to the front entrance, but the doors were sealed. I didn't hear them lock. They were just no longer doors. Panic rose in my chest. I ran back to the pool, thinking maybe I could climb out the windows. The pool was full, silent, still. Black water rising to the edge. No sound of rushing or filling, just full. The graffiti was gone. The chairs, the bear, the bones, gone. Only the water remained, and it smelled like rot. My camera slipped from my hand and rolled to the edge. When I reached for it, I slipped, tumbled in. But the water didn't feel like water. It gripped. Cold, calloused fingers, hundreds of them. They pulled me down. I kicked, thrashed, screamed. Faces swam around me. Children, eyes wide, mouths open, bubbles escaping, and a voice from the walls. "You remember us, so you stay." I woke up on the pool deck, dry, alone. My camera was on, still filming, but the footage showed something else. Me, walking into the pool, smiling, whispering, "I'll stay. I can't leave now." Every time I reach the exit, I'm back at the deep end. The pool fills, drains, fills again. Sometimes I hear children laughing, sometimes screaming, sometimes both. They left something in the walls, a memory, a curse, and now I'm part of it. If you find this footage, if you hear my voice, don't come looking. Don't try to remember Holloway, because once you do, they'll remember you too. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.